Hello, welcome to the Woodturning podcast. My name's Mark.
And my name is Will. Welcome.
And I am Gary. How you doing?
Had to think about that. All good. How are we? Had a good week?
Not bad. Been in there a few hours this week, which is nice. But yeah, had a few little testing issues, shall I say?
Yeah,
you sent us a picture of that.
Yeah.
What I will say is, to start with, I really like that silicone mat you're using. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Keeping it
Yep.
all contained, because if that had happened with me, it would have been all over the floor.
Yeah, okay. So literally within like a week before, I just had my flat silicone mats, and I like a leak now and again, and then it just goes all over the shop. So yeah, then I looked on Temu, and I saw, and basically they're like dog feeding mats, and they've just got that little lip. It's probably about 5 mil around the edge, and just thought that'll do the job, right? It just sort of saves you from any unwanted leakage beyond your mat when it's really bad, which, as you say, was probably a good thing that I did use it on that particularly bad leak.
So starting from the beginning, bamboo, how did you seal it?
Yeah. Okay. So from a bamboo perspective, I've had some for ages, and I just got a whole chunk of it from the old garden centre, and then I wanted to sort of like, cut it up into lengths, and then the idea was originally just to fill each individual sort of like what they called bamboo shoot. What was it called? Pole, whatever. Yeah. I'm not I nearly swore there. I'm not a panda and eat them. Yeah, so I wanted to sort of like, fill them individually and then almost sort of have them horizontally on the edge of a bowl. That was the plan. So I cut them all up, and I did see, when I was cutting them, I did see some of them look like they had like hairline sort of splits down the side.
Yeah.
And I just ignored it stupidly. And then I was thinking, after you kindly gave me the absolute brilliant thing about the acetate, the tip. That's such a good tip, mate. It's so good. Now I'm not hunting around for different plastic jars and yogurt pots to get dictated to by the size of them. I can use the acetate to see what size I need.
Yeah.
So I basically start with, I didn't use the acetate around it. I just sort of taped them up, and I thought, right, okay, that'll be it. I'll pour the resin in the tops, and all I've done was tape across the bottom, because I've taped it with masking tape before across different cracks, and then use that tuck tape, which is almost like a waterproof, and I've seen it, they use it on all the resin table stuff and all that. So I've been using that for a while. So I whacked all that round the bottom as well. So I just thought that'll be fine, that'll hold it in. And then as I'm pouring the buggers, I could just see somewhere, it was almost like one of those like Himalayan flutes, like with the different size bamboo things, and those like in little towers like that. And as I'm pouring it in, I could just see some of them is just like seeping out and just running down into the lower flute. And I was thinking, that one's going to fill up in a minute, and then it's going to pour all over the side. And then it was almost, I had so many lined up to do. I had them in blocks of about 6 or 8. And then I was going around, it's almost like, is that one just going to disappear to nothing? Oh, that one's going to hold in, so that one sort of stay filled up, and then that one, oh shit, it's running out the bottom again. Like, oh no! So in the end, I thought I'm just gonna sort of get to where I can, let it go off, and then essentially, if some's in the bottom, that would almost act as the seal the next time round when I've done it the second time, right? But I also then second time used the acetate, like you said, because I thought at least that will contain the sort of like the spillage if it comes out, and then you've almost got, you can take that off, and you've got a whole round thing with the bamboo shoots in the middle and I had some like that have done it now, so it's all gone off now, thank God, and I've recovered it. They're all full up, happy days. But I haven't
cast over the top of them.
Yeah.
What you going to do with it?
I want to do a bowl. So I've seen something before. I don't have much imagination, so I like copying people, and then it's just sort of like just to try things out. And I saw a geezer, and he'd done them horizontally.
Horizontally, yeah.
So it's almost like done like a blank block in the middle, stuck them sort of like facing off the side, so they're going to actually sort of be coming out from the middle to the edge. So you only need to do them probably because you're going to sort of like sort of turn down the side. I probably only need to do them about an inch long, right? And then I can turn them both sides.
Yeah.
And then stick all them to the middle blank, if you like, and then pour in another colour all around them.
You could do a
I've
colour,
seen
not
it before.
clear.
Yeah, I'm going to do a colour. Yeah. Do you know what? I haven't done it long enough to sort of be confident in clear that it ain't going to just end up like yellow at some point. So I tend, yeah. So I think like you lose that with a colour. You ain't got to worry about that bit, have you? And I saw the one I saw before because he done bright colours in the actual shoots. He done black as the filler.
Yeah,
and
nice.
it
Yeah.
made them sort of pop even more.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, so that's the plan anyway. Yeah, but yeah, another resin lesson there.
Yeah, cool.
Lots of spillage.
Yeah.
That would have just ended up all over the floor with me. It's just it's part of the reason I've pulled away from resin a little bit, really. It was just the mess it was making, and I sort of, to a degree, lost patience. So I'll carry on using resin to fill cracks in a split log or something.
Mm.
And to do that, I just get a little bit of plastic and hot glue it to either end.
Yeah.
And then balance it on something precariously and fill the crack. It's got to be precariously balanced, otherwise there's no risk involved of knocking it over and that sort of thing. So it's I will carry on playing with resin, but
and
leave it to you.
How's business in general? Last time we were talking, you were a little bit disheartened and thinking about giving up, and
yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Got any better?
No, not really. Well, it has. I mean, I went to a lace day. We drove to, where did we go?
Yeah, that's where you were going. That was the last conversation.
Yeah. Where did we go?
Do you want to explain to the viewers when you're saying a lace day, because they might think you're just making shoelaces and stuff?
Shoelace. Yeah, it's handmade lace. Shoelace. So some of them probably have. A lace day is a collection of people that turn up in a hall and they make handmade lace for the day. And you have one or two suppliers there that will sell everything that they need. So I go there and I make handmade lace bobbins, little spindles, probably about 100 mil long and about 5 mil at the thickest, 2 mil at the thinnest, with their shape. And they use them to make handmade lace. So I was going to this lace day, and I cannot remember for the life of me where it was. I think it was Bedford I went to for that one, so it wasn't far. And I walked in, and this lady went, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm looking for the lace makers," because I was lost. She went, "Oh, well, what are you here for?" It's like, to make lace, really. I'm selling supplies. Oh, I wasn't aware any men were coming today. Ooh, that makes a change. Got this little old dear nice and excited about a man turning up, which was nice. And I rocked up, set it all up, and I went about, must have been 3 or 4 hours. Didn't sell a thing. No one was bothering to look. It was really quite disheartening. And then took 200-300 quid.
Oh, really?
Within the space of an hour. What they'd obviously done, they'd obviously looked, decided what they liked, gone back, thought about it, maybe moved some money over, and then came back and shopped, which was great. So I came back workshop next day and made all the replacement bobbins. It was nice. It's nice to interact. And Gary, you must know that when we go to Folk and Bespoke, it's nice to talk to these people. And I think over the winter period, I've sort of missed that. So getting back into events, I think might cheer me up a bit. We'll see how it goes. I've got 2 events beginning of March, Colchester and Cliffs Pavilion. So, yeah.
I'll come and see you in Colchester then.
That's nice. That'd be good. So they're both So we name drop. Yeah, let's name drop. They're Katie's and Folk and Bespoke events, both of them.
Yeah.
And they're normally pretty well attended. They're normally pretty good events.
I guess it's not really craft fair season.
No, they don't do them during January and that, do they? She runs hers sort of like probably about 10 months of the year, Mark, do you reckon? A couple of months off.
4, 5, 6,
Obviously
7,
goes right
8,
up through December.
9.
They're the big ones.
Yeah, so she doesn't do any events in January, February, or August because she goes on holiday.
August
she knows
as well.
Yeah, doesn't do any in August.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, January. No one spends money in January. We've got nothing left after Christmas, have we?
No.
Christmas. January's paying off the credit card bill from the Christmas lot.
Yeah.
And then February, it's a bit more of the same, isn't it? Really. So yeah, beginning of March, and then that's sort of the lead up for Mother's Day, isn't it? So we get a few sales ready for Mother's Day. But yeah, after that, it's solid all the way to August. I've got events virtually every single weekend all the way to August. Yeah. So I think that will cheer me up. It's getting out there again. It's
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've only done a few shows, like a handful, right? I've literally, I think I've done 4 in total since I've been doing all this. First one was Absolute Car Crash, which was down to them, like advertising, like no bugger turned up really. And then I've done one at Riddle, getting a lot of interest, and then the heavens opened in the summer, which pretty much calls everyone bugger off. But I've done all right. That weren't bad, and it sort of made me think, okay, it's worth doing a couple more. And that's when I signed up with Katie, and I'd done her ones, but that was like in November, I think December, because hers are indoors, that's a result. And like you say, they've got a good turnout, and I've done all right at both of them, to be honest. But for me, I just like, I know it's your living, right? That's what you do, but where I've got a day job and whatever, when it gets to the weekend, I want to go to my wood club, right? And if I'm doing the show, I can't go to the wood club on the Saturday. And packing everything up, getting it there, if some days you might sell bloody 30 quid's worth of gear, and you paid 30 quid for the bloody stall. So I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do loads this year because I don't enjoy it from the tie of it as much as anything. I might do some more of hers. They're indoors, and she then gives you a table. When you're doing the outside ones, you're taking your own tables and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, I'm going to play it by ear. But it's nice to speak to people. My missus is like, well, you just bore the pants off people talking about stuff. He says sitting there on a podcast, boring the pants off a load of people listening. all three of them probably. But so when someone comes up to your stall and they're genuinely sort of like, interested in how did you do that?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, some bugger wants to listen to me. It's like a little therapy session. So it's it is nice to sort of talk to people. Yeah, I agree.
And you get other wood turners, they go to those events and you can tell a wood turner immediately.
Yeah.
Because they'll pick something up and they'll immediately look on the bottom. Yeah. That's not where the pretty stuff is. That's where I've hidden the shit. Come on, turn it up the right way.
Yeah.
Let's get it. But they always come, and I often find they always want to know how you did it because they're going to go back and copy it. And on the most part, I don't mind. I've had a couple of wood turners who were like, didn't leave the stall for nearly an hour. Just chatting. It's great. It's brilliant because, as you say, someone comes to the store, so someone wants to actually listen to you. You get all excited, and then they walk away, and you go, "You could have bought something. You could have."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is nice if you get the vibe, and before they've turned something over that it's a wood turner. And then he picks the one up that you actually turned the foot off as well, right? And you're thinking, yeah, go on, look at it. Go on, look at it. Go on. Yeah. And then he flips it over and he's like, oh, I thought I was going to suss you out there. And it's like, no, son, I've turned the foot off.
Well, I've always got mortises on mine. I don't use tenons. I don't turn the foot off. So mine are all mortises. So when they turn them over, it's either got my maker's mark in the bottom or I've lasered it. And they're very. That's why I try and do that little stylish bit last night. You got to add a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Each their own, but I'm the same. I'm not that keen on flat bottom bowls.
Nah. It depends what I'm doing really. Like if if I think it might look extra bit ugly, or I think in just the shape of it tends itself to be more for the tenon, and then I think actually I can easily flip that over and turn the foot off. You know, some of them you just think, oh, I can't turn that one off. It'd be ag to do that.
Yeah.
It's like if it's easier, I'll hold it the other way around, then I can do it.
You guys use these a lot, but I don't get on with them. You've got the are they cold jaws? Are they called
Cold jaws?
Yeah.
The outer grip?
All
And
the
I
inner
thought,
grip.
yeah, the first time I tried that, bought a set for the Axminster chuck, and I've got it spinning and it's centre-ish. Went to take the foot off and the bowl went ding. Oh yeah, no, you know what? This is going to be more aggro than it's worth. And I just took the orbital sander to it in the end, and I was just like, no, it's Mortis's. I can't be bothered. It's just how I go. So I've got a set of cold jaws sitting in the workshop that have been used once.
I only ever really use them as a last resort thing, if I'm absolutely honest, the cold jaws, because they just mark everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
dent your
put
plastic.
like paper towel out.
Yeah. If you got lacquer, then it will dent the lacquer, and then it's like I say, it's always a last resort. I'd rather part it off and then finish it like by hand.
Yeah, I generally, to be honest, if I've got something that I can hold with them, I'm normally pushing it from the inside out with them, as opposed to sort of clamping it from the outside.
Yeah.
And then I'll put like paper towel around them and all that first, so that you know, they're not marking them. So, and then to be honest, it's sometimes you're sort of doing it and you think, I need to go a bit tighter because I don't want, like you say, fly it across the workshop. And on the other side, you don't want to hear the old crack where it splits or something like that. And you think, oh.
No.
Whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
So it is a fine line without a doubt, but to be honest, I quite like using all my different types of jaws, because I've been doing it that long. It's sort of like, oh yeah, what did I use the other day? I use the short sort of like, the pen sort of ones, the short ones that are rounded. I dug them out for the first time the other day. So I thought, oh, okay, I've got an old like a broomstick handle, that lolly shit thing I've done. And
I actually don't use the chuck very often, or jaws. I tend to just glue a block on that I've got on a spindle on adapter.
You've clearly not got to the stage of getting fed up with undoing 8 screws to change a set of jaws. I've got to a stage. I bought
other chucks for that.
Yeah, so have I. Yeah, I've just recently bought the record power chuck purely. I like it. They've got a set of really domed jaws, and when I'm making lace bobbins and you're sanding the very end, these domed jaws, you're not catching your knuckles.
Oh yeah, I've got some of those. They're really cute, actually, aren't they? Yeah.
It's a little dome, and they don't go very wide. They're not designed for anything big. But when you've got some intricate sanding to do, and you've got the risk of removing your knuckles on a normal set of jaws, they are useful.
Yeah, cool.
And then I've got a bigger record power, which is that's the one I used last night. That set of jaws are the only ones that sit on that as well. And those set of jaws are used for the rings as well. So I've got a faceplate ring that attaches to them. So that's quite a nice versatile set. They're good.
Just for info, if anyone is listening out there, when Mark's talking about he used those last night, he done a demo at our local wood club. So he was just showing off and just started doing that to all the locals.
In-house wood turners don't get paid.
Yeah.
Whereas when we get other people into demo, we have to pay them. So I was free and cheap. That's what... It's just
indicated by the chairman's summary at the end.
Yeah.
Whoops and all.
Yes, thank you for that, Chairman. That was. It genuinely is terrifying. I mean, you said last night before we went about not standing up, and it's. I try not to look at the audience because I don't want to see you lot staring back at me. And you're the centre of attention, and it is absolutely terrifying.
I can imagine.
Especially when you've got the likes of some of the older boys in the back row who have been turning longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
And you just make one little mistake and you know full well that they're now chatting in each other's ears going, oh, I wouldn't have done that like that. That's not even...
there's another one.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, he needs to sharpen those tools a little bit.
But you just hope that's the point when he's asleep, right? Because that's the thing with the old guys. A lot of them, like my Saturday one, you turn around at any point in time, there's probably at least 3 people asleep, like just like their head on the floor like that, and then they just wake up again, like, I'll carry on watching.
That's why Steve now does the audio visual, because John, who did it before, he nodded off, so the camera wasn't changing, and you just. Can we see a different angle? And the demonstrator's gone, we need to see the different cameras. Gone, oh, yeah.
I was talking to him last night, John. So how old do you reckon he is? He's got to be in his 80s, hasn't he?
He's mid-80s, I believe, yeah.
Yeah. And he was talking to me and one of the other guys, and how we all get our phones out and sort of show the pictures, what we've been doing this week and all that. Fair play to him. He got his phone out and he was showing us, like, and he had pictures from a magazine, and it was like, I don't know, 30 years ago. He said, like, over his period, he's been featured in Woodturning magazine twice, I think, and there was another, like, big publication once.
Oh, really?
I was going, bloody hell, yeah. I was going, that's fair play. And I was going, how did they sort of like contact you about that? And he said, oh, that this clock he'd done. He goes, that clock 1 second in some massive, I don't know if he said European, but it was some sort of competition. And they contacted him and said, oh, we'd like to do an article with you. And then he had like a load of his stuff in there. And he even said he got paid 300 quid for the article, and back then for him it was quite a lot. And then he said that he sold plans for some of the stuff that was in the magazine, and he got about 300 quid out of that. And he goes, it weren't bad. He goes, so I made 600 quid out of that, and the actual prize for coming second in the competition was only like 75 quid. So he said, like, I had a result in the end, got 75 quid for that, but then 600 out of the other stuff. So
amazing.
Yeah, but then, like you say, so he's old school, and he's been around the block, and yeah.
So is Barry. The other John and Bernie, they've not actually been doing it quite as long.
Haven't they?
No. But one of the guys that was there last night, I can't remember his name, and if he does listen to this, I'm so sorry. But he couldn't get his head around how I went from a cue to a 3-pointed bowl. And
Really?
he came up at half time, and he was like, I'm still struggling to get my head around how you did that. And I sort of tried to explain it as best as possible. I said, well, get yourself a cube, stick it on a lathe, and you'll quickly find out how you go from 8 corners to 3 corners. Give it a go. But they reminded us about next month's competition. We've got to make an egg. Our interpretation of an egg.
So got that nailed. That's no problem.
I said you're not allowed to go. You're not allowed to go, Will.
No, it's the only one you're not allowed to do. No, I had a thought. I might see if I can turn a fried egg.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Perhaps do a jaggedy edge around the outer edge on the bandsaw or something.
Yeah.
And see if I can, get something like a Sarge orange or something in the middle of some holly or something like that. So you get the contrast. See what.
I don't think you'd have time to do that sort of stuff where it's like it's your day job, right? So you ain't going to be selling the fried egg, are you? After.
Yeah, true.
No, that's. I tend to do weekdays, so Monday to Friday. That's the bread and butter stuff. So that's when I'm restocking or doing lace bobbins and things like that. We've got 5 minutes left of our meeting. According to that warning that came up. And then Saturday is when I'll do fun stuff. I'll play with fun stuff and do something. I'll go and have a rummage in the wood store, pull something out and go, what can I make out of this? And that's what I'd normally take up to club on a Wednesday. It will always go up for sale unless the wife steals it first. I've got some bits loitering around here. She stole a snowman she nicked over Christmas randomly. So she steals various bits if she likes the look of it. But no, it will normally go for sale, and someone
Your
will buy
wife,
it
your wife
eventually, I'm
seems
sure.
very more amenable, if that's a word, to your stuff. Because I done a little snowman like that at Christmas, and I found that in the bloody log burner just after Christmas. It hadn't been lit at that point, but it was just in there. So I take that as it was a reject.
That's one of my first resin projects, and that's sitting on a shelf up there. I think this is utter garbage. I would have thrown this in the bin. It's really thick, and it was
she
made.
likes it.
And she uses it. It's actually bits of old 2x4. It's a nail hole.
Yeah.
That was cut up, and it's meant to be blue glittery resin, but the glitter sank to the bottom. And it was before I owned a pressure tank. So there's loads of air holes in it. And there's lumpy bits where I tried to fix it. And I think it's trash. It's rubbish. But she likes it.
So what have you been up to this week, Will? Have you been in the workshop much?
No, I hadn't. I was in there at the weekend, but I haven't done an awful lot during the week. It's been busy at work. But I'm waiting for me lacquer to go off anyway, so it's a good time not to be in there. I like to give the lacquer a week, but I've pretty much done that Malibel vase, and it is stunning.
Really?
Badges behind me.
Are you still using that car lacquer?
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, look
this
at
is the
that.
vase.
Beautiful.
So
and shine inside as well.
Yeah. So it's lacquered. I've actually so I did a flood coat on the inside just to protect it a bit, and then lacquered over the top of it. And that was quite a good move, to be honest. It's the first time I've done that, and actually it's come out really well. I think I might actually bring that in soon that it don't get sold.
Is that still got the chuck attached to the bottom?
Yeah, so still on the chuck. So I've been waiting. I should kind of wait until I can't smell the lacquer anymore, because I'm going to turn off the chuck, turn it upside down, and I don't want to dent the top because it is absolutely mint at the moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely flawless. It will break my heart.
What you need to do, Steve, I don't know what fittings you've got on your lathe. That looks quite big, so probably an M33. Make yourself a plate, a stand that you can screw that face plate onto or the chuck onto, so it's secure. So if you go to somewhere like Axminster, you can buy the chuck holders for the walls.
Yeah, I've got them. Yeah.
Screw one of them to a big base, and when you've got it and you need to keep it safe, just spin that onto there, and it will hold it.
Yeah,
nice and upright, and you've not got a concern then if someone walks past your cabinet behind you and just bumps the cabinet.
Yeah, and that's why it's here, because there's no footfall behind it.
Yeah. That's one of the things I sort of like. I sort of like and I don't like about turning is that until it's 100% done, it ain't done, right?
No.
And there's always that chance that it could screw up at the last minute. I was doing something this week, right? And this is the first time it's happened to me. I was doing this thing. Don't ask me why, right? I was doing this thing, and I'd done all of the actual lollipop bit, right? And I put a tenon on the end, and I just wanted a base, right? So I just wanted to turn a little base. I thought, oh, I've got a bit of walnut, just do that, right? And I pretty much finished it. It was all polished and everything, and I was just drilling a hole. And I had it still on the lathe, and I put this in, right? And it needed one more mil deeper in the hole, and the thing was finished. Like, so I put the drill in, and the drill bit started to sort of like come out of the Jacob chuck, and then it flipped the whole Jacob chuck out across the floor, and because of the drill bit was still in that base, it snapped it in half, and that flew across the garage as well. And I was it was done, right? And I just wanted to drill a mil deeper, and the thing just split in half and shot across the garage, and I had to start from scratch. And I was like, that's a classic on Woodturning. He's like, I was done, but you're not done until you're done.
No,
until it's off the lathe and on display.
Yeah,
That happened to me
100%.
when I was pouring out a pen blank. It was an acrylic pen blank, and I backed it out, and it did exactly the same. And the drill bit stayed in the acrylic with the Jacobs chuck, and the whole off it went. Snapped the drill bit. That's a scary moment.
I was actually videoing. I've got it on video, but it was quite the camera was like quite close, so you can see my hand. And then what I've done, I edited it and I cut it down. I'll send you a link to it later or whatever. But I then slowed down that part of it in the in shot thing, and you see that the actual drill bit's going like that, right? And then it's like, and then the bit just snaps off, and you see it go flying through the air in the background of the garage. But you don't actually see the Jacobs chuck. Because like that sort of like went over this shoulder and like splattered on the floor with the drill bit in it as well. It was like
That connected with your way past.
I know. I mean, I did have obviously a face mask on and whatever, but yeah. So
accidents do happen. You've got to be paying attention all the time because it could just anything. Because you, as you say, I just needed to drill just one more, just a little bit deeper, and it was just. That's the end of that little. It wasn't a particularly big little bit, but doesn't take a lot. And when you said to me a couple of weeks back about doing larger items and unstable items and things like that, when I did that big plate sideways on the lathe, generally speaking, as long as you follow the same basic safety all the time, you can go as big as you like. It doesn't get more unsafe the bigger something gets. Very often you just make everything slightly bigger. So you wouldn't use a 6-inch or 4-inch faceplate on a 15-inch plate. You go for the bigger faceplate to spread that load out. And that's the only thing you've really got to sort of change.
Well, you've also got the bigger you go, each side you're going up, you just need to put on another pair of pants.
Yeah. Well, as I said to the young lad, the new young lad that turned up yesterday at club, the first lesson you got to learn is how to duck quick. Because if it does go wrong, it's going to come at you, and you've got to move. You got to get out of the way.
Yeah,
you're not very far away from the bloody thing, are you? That's the thing.
No. And did you see the video that went viral last year of that large plate that came off a guy's lathe in America? It was a fair sized bit of wood he had on this lathe, and everything was set up properly. And he turned his lathe off, and this bit of wood skidded up his face. And he was wearing a mask and everything, and it went over his shoulder, and it was sort of, and it came off at speed. And it turned out his lathe had a quick stop system.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So the lathe headstock had stopped.
Yeah.
And then stopping, the momentum of the piece didn't.
Yeah, kept going.
So it doesn't matter how much you change and make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
The lathe still wants to have you at times. So
it'd be quite interesting actually if there's anyone out there that is actually listening and they're aware of any of those sorts of things and got clips of them anywhere, chuck them in the comments and that, and we might be able to talk about them on another episode. Or whatever.
We want to hear about your accidents.
Not necessarily you, just like if you've seen stuff on YouTube or whatever. It's like sometimes it just brings it home a little bit and it makes you just think of a bit more safety. So, but you know what it's like. Some people go, "Oh, have you seen this one? Have you seen that one?" Let's get some links on there and have a butcher's.
Seen a lot of bandsaw accidents recently on YouTube. I say recently, last few months or so. Some of the guys that I follow. In fact, there's that dude. Is it Kevin Corey? He's the Australian guy.
I don't know. Yeah.
He's just come back with he's a finger less now. I think they did.
Really?
They had to stitch it back on again, but there's another carbon bloke that I follow. He's done the same.
No way.
Makes that little cart I picked up earlier today with a bit of laminate, bit weedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or that little clip. Oh. That did actually hurt my knuckle yesterday. That made me wince when I caught that. That did hurt.
Yeah. It can hurt. It can hurt.
Did you see Steve? Did you hear what Steve said last night when I clipped my finger on the workpiece? Very early on, because we had that new lad now, very early on, so it's always good practice that you've got to stop the lathe to move the tool rest, but a lot of us don't. We move the tool rest with the piece still running. I clipped my finger on the very edge of this 3-pointed bowl, and all you got from Steve behind this new lad was, there's an active demonstration of why you stopped the lathe. Thanks. Yes, and it was slowing down. I had turned the lathe off. It was slowing down, but it wasn't stationary. I should have been patient, but make sure you demonstrate good practices.
You do hear these horror stories like of fingers and whatever going amiss, but it has changed a little bit these days from back in the day, because like you just said, Will, it's like they sew them back on.
Yeah.
Or a lot of them they do, and it's like, yeah, you've had your chance. You don't need fingerless gloves just yet. But you still sew them back on, and you still got all your digits.
Yeah.
So
the tools have changed as well. If you look at the table saws, I mean, mine doesn't have it, but Festool and Sawstop have got technology on board that senses fingers.
Yeah, that's
so
really clever. That
runs on electrical current, and it throws a brake into the blade as it's spinning, and as it throws the brake into the blade, it pulls the blade down at the same time. So you've got to touch the blade. And you can get false triggers as well. So if you hit a nail or something whilst you're cutting through it, it will trigger it still. And there's another company, I don't know what the company is that's done this. They have a sensor over the top of the blade. So if your hand goes anywhere within a light channel, it pulls the blade back in and stops the machine.
Yeah.
So your hand doesn't go anywhere near it. So the technology's moved on. That careless, simple mistakes, if you're not concentrating, the tools can compensate for stupidity.
I reckon there'll be a lot of people that thing, if it's got a sort of like a border around the blade, right, that sort of senses anything in there, there'll be a lot of people that would screw over, right? Because there's so many people that you're confident in. I'm running my hand, I'm holding that against it. I'm easy an inch away, so that ain't going to pull me in. So there'll be loads of people who wouldn't be able to use that because it would be kicking off all the time and saying like, no, it's dangerous.
That's where I think the Sawstop one is better, because it does rely on contact, but it's so fast that it's almost like just getting a paper cut. It's hardly anything at all.
Yeah, it's very clever.
But it's half loud when it triggers. I saw a demonstration of it.
Crack your pants as well.
Yeah, it does. It was rightly so too, because if it didn't do that, that's your finger gone, or worse. So fucking stop sniffing your saw blades.
Yeah. I was just trying to check the angles. Is it 90 degrees? Oh, it's turned on.
Yeah, you've just nudged the on button. Yeah, but they're getting clever. I mean, lathes haven't changed. Not at all. Not when you look at the old Wadkins and things. The lathes are different. It's just making sure that you've got the right mortise and tenon or the right faceplate or whatever on to make sure it stays as best it can. And if it doesn't want to stay, it's not going to stay.
Yeah. And every time I've hurt myself, and it's always been because I'm doing something that I shouldn't have been doing, and I know I shouldn't have been doing it. And I've done it anyway, and like it's bitten.
But there's been a lot of times, I bet, when you think, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but you've got away with it. And it's like those.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's like
you sit there and go, "Oh, this is a bit sketchy." Let's do it anyway. Dodgy, That's why I switched over to the carbide tool last night, because I just couldn't. I didn't think I could safely get to the bottom of that dish with a normal chisel without clipping one of those corners. And that would have been it. That would have just carbide. I don't like using carbide tools that often, but
they've got a place. Convenient. I think they've got a place.
Yeah, they definitely do have the place. Yeah,
absolutely.
Certainly doing vases, and hogging out with a car, even not even a negative rake, a proper carbide, is far simpler than anything else, you know.
I've got some of the Crown Swan Neck ones, and they're not carbide; they're the cryo steel.
Yeah,
and I can't get on with them.
No, I mean neither.
But the Swan Neck carbide tool I've got, no problem at all. I can get right round in. It's a lovely tool to use, and there's no way I'd be able to do it with a HSS tool. Not at all.
So I'll tell you what I got around Crimbo that I haven't asked either of you. So around Crimbo, it was when old Styles and Bates sort of first done dropped everything in price because they're shutting up like in March, whatever it was. And I bought one of the Sorby Turnmaster jobbies with the sort of like the Swan Neck type thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was the big chunky one. So that's got like on the underside, it's got like the flat surface, right? And so you've got that on your tool rest. And I found so when I use it and I'm putting it in on the inside to try and sort of hollow something out, because the sort of like the what I call it, the cutter, the wheel, right, is sort of touching that surface. It almost sort of pulls the tool over all the time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's like, and I just feel like I can't keep it solid and sort of like, you know, keep that constant sort of like contact. So it just pulls it down all the time and then it don't cut. And I was thinking, am I doing something wrong?
So I bought it's a Hope, the Easy Arm, because that has the Swan Neck with the carbide in it.
Right.
But that's because it's located, it can't twist. And that's a pleasure to use. Certainly on wood anyways. It's not so good with resin. And I wish that they would do like a negative rate cutter, because I'd buy loads of them. But
oh, okay.
But yeah,
that's not the one with the laser, is it?
Yeah, I've got the laser as well. Yeah.
Ah, right. Is the laser an add-on, or is that come with it?
Yeah, it's an add-on. You can have a laser or a camera. And I kind of didn't see the point in doing the camera, because the laser's good enough.
Yeah.
I use the Easy Wood tool followers.
Yeah,
they're quite wide.
Yeah.
And they're flat bar.
Yeah.
So you don't get that topple.
Well, that's what this is though. This is exactly what the Turnmaster is. It's flat, but it sort of tips it over.
Yeah,
it still tips it over all the time.
It's not completely flat though, is it? It's a flat edge on a round bar.
It's flat on the base. Yeah, the top is round.
Yeah. So whereas the Easy Wood tool one is flat bar, both sides. It was designed from the beginning.
4 times as much as the other one as well, and they're bloody expensive, those Easy Wood tools, aren't they?
Yeah, they are great though, I must admit. I've got a couple of them. I use them all the time.
The Easy Wood tools they do negative rake ones. They're not that much more. The Sorby apparently is 115, and the Easy Wood tool one from an expensive shop is 150 quid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's actually they've gone up a bit. I thought they were more like 120 quid.
But if you go for a very expensive shop, it's £100 and £200.
Oh, really?
That's very expensive.
You can get them on Amazon, can't you? I think that's where I got one.
You go to Easy Wood Tools direct, which is what I normally do.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say about
they do minis, don't they, as well? They do minis and they do 3
so
different sizes.
I've got a detailer, and that's quite small. And then I've got the Pro Finisher, and that is massive. That's probably the biggest tool I've got. It's got to be like 3 foot long.
The one I had with me last night, that's not their longest tool that they do. They do one which is about another 6 inches longer than the one I had with me last night. But yeah, they do little detailing ones, which the handles is only about 6 inches long. They're great they use really tiny cutters. They're brilliant.
Yeah, the one I've got, it's got a small cutter, but it's probably about, I don't know, must be.
They use the small cutter on all their hollowing tools. They don't use the bigger cutters. I don't know why. They just don't.
You can get the negative rate carbides for all their tools. I say all their tools, at least for the small one and the Pro Finisher.
Yeah, they've got their mini hollowing tools as well. They do one which is a right angle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Proper right angle. But mine is just the normal.
Have a look and treat myself, save up and treat myself to one of them then.
Yeah,
If you-
I'm
if
not
you get
getting
them-
on with that Scorby one.
You can get them without the handle. So if you wanted to put your own handle on it, or I think you'll possibly find they may well fit in Hope's handles.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've got
So if
some
you've
of them
already
actually.
got a Hope handle,
I've got a couple of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they come. The toolbar is 3/8. By the looks of them.
Right.
So they'd
Okay.
fit in they'd fit in one of Simon's handles.
I got a while ago. I got a set off of Amazon. It was like one of those stupid makes, like Izoyo or whatever the bloody hell it was. a set of 3 carbides, the sort of detail ones, so the round one, the square cutter, and the diamond cutter.
Yeah.
And they weren't. I'd say they're medium size. They ain't tiny. 47 quid for all 3, right? And I've been using them for quite a while, and I use the sort of like the detail one the most, and so I've been rotating the cutter obviously, and it got to the point where I thought actually that has now got dull because I have used it a hell of a lot, and I went on Amazon and sort of found exactly the right size, a pack of 12 of those round cutters, 16 quid, right? And I
really?
thought can't be that good, and I swapped one over, mate. They're unreal.
It makes you remember what they were like when they were first new, because you get used to how they get dull, don't you? And yet I sharpen mine.
Such a bargain.
Yeah.
How are you doing that on a?
I've got a little. No, I've got a little hand diamond sharpening stone.
Oh yeah.
Thing. And all you do, put your finger in the hole, just rub it across, and it sharpens them back up again.
Oh, on the flat, like on the credit card,
on the credit card. So
on a stone,
You put the top of it on,
and
just rub it a little bit, and sharp again.
Right.
So I've got a ton of those that need sharpening.
They're a bit fiddly, especially if you've got because they do the really tiny ones, and then they do the big next size up. The really tiny ones can be a bit fiddly. That Amazon set you got, was that with the metal handle, like Simon's, similar to Simon's handle, or were they wooden handled ones? Because I keep looking at the metal handled ones from Amazon and think, oh, they're a good price.
Yeah. No, I got the. I know the ones you mean. I think they got a black handle, haven't they?
Yeah.
I got the wooden ones, and I got those 3 because you can get a sort of set, if you like, that's got the swan neck as well.
Yeah.
But I just got the other 3. And they were 47 quid, I think it was, or 41 quid.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
3.
Big price. So, on the subject of buying things, what have we bought recently, lads? What have we spent the money
on? So I bought. I can't remember what he calls it. Simon Hope, and it was quite. I say it was quite cheap. Simon Hope, so nothing.
It's that sanding station.
Yeah, I bought that sanding thing, and that was to do the mallee bell for that vase. So I just needed to shape. So I stuck the mallee bell on the bandsaw and put a couple of 45 degrees in it, and I just needed something to round it up so I could put it in the bucket for casting. And and that's what I did. I bought that from Simon Hope, and it for what I needed, it's all right, you know. It's not the biggest. I don't think it's only 6 inches, but then that's convenient because then that takes because it's hook and loop, so it takes me 6-inch sanding disc from my rotary sander. It did. Yeah, it was good enough.
Did it come with a tool rack, like a?
Yeah, so it comes with it's like a thick plastic. I guess it's probably got a it's got backing on it. It's got like a wooden backing on it, but it is quite sturdy, and it just like fits in your tool rest in your tool post. Slot it in where your tool post would go, and it's pretty good.
Well, I'm looking on there now. What's that called then, Will? What is that?
Hang on a moment. Let me.
Is it Sanding Arbor? Is that what it is?
No. I need to look it up. Simon Hope Woodturning.
Hope Pro Sander, I think. No, that's the handheld one.
Yeah, the Pro Sanders are all those sort of friction-y type ones.
No, it's not Sanding Harbour.
Should never go on Simon's website. You could end up spending a fortune.
His place is literally just round the corner from me, and I've never been.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
I'm literally like 2 miles up the road. And that's because he's not open on the weekend. But I think if you give him a call, because he lives next to his workshop bit.
Oh, okay.
I'd spend too much money. It's bad enough when we see him at events.
Yeah.
His stuff is great. I mean, Lauren got me a spindle gouge of his over Christmas.
Do you know, I can't find it. Let me look through my emails.
Is it one of Simon's or is it on one of?
Yeah, no, it's one of Simon's. It's even branded Hope on it, and
Because he works with Paul, didn't he?
yeah.
I think Paul does a
here we
couple
go.
of days a week with him or something.
Yeah, but Paul also makes his own jigs and things.
Ah, no wonder I couldn't find it. It's called a complete sanding table, including post and aluminium sanding disc.
Yeah, where's that? Complete.
Hope.
And
No.
no, it's more than I thought. It was 73 quid. It was.
If you type in, if you start in his search bar, start typing in complete sanding table, it comes up second option.
Oh, does it?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. And yeah, it's good. It's good for what I needed it for, because I did need it. And it's much cheaper than buying, because I did look on Axminster. See with a tabletop, they're about 400 quid, and they're pretty small as well. So I looked at the proper ones, and they were like 2,000 quid, and so for 70 quid, I feel like that will do.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
Need it for.
That's basically what I've got on my bench sander. So I've got a bench belt sander, and it's got one of those on it as well. But it's not hook and loop; it's sticky. So you've got a double-sided tape sand plate to it.
No, it's quite good. It's hook and loop.
Hook and loop. If you've got the extractor up behind it as well, dust will just get sucked straight away.
Yeah.
So, you bought anything recently, Gary?
No, I've got another batch of stuff off of Styles and Baits, but that was just sort of acrylic pen blanks for crochet hooks and stuff. Bought some wood off there. Tools wise, I don't think I've bought anything for a while. Thinking about it, I did get one of Simon's the big fat negative rake scrapers. I got one of those when he done a demo at the Sandon Club a little while ago. So I've got one of those. It's good, but do you know what? I can't. I just keep going back to my. I had a Henry Taylor round nose scraper, and I turned it into a negative rake, and it's like my favourite tool. I think I use it so much, and it doesn't maintain its edge so much, but I sharpen it a lot, but it doesn't disappear.
No.
A lot of them, they sort of like, before you know it, you think, bloody hell, that's nearly gone. And but that one sort of like, it's sort of real solid, so it sharpens up nice. And to be honest, I find it better than the one I've got from Simon's.
I've got one of Simon's as well, but I've also got that Henry Taylor's one. And yeah, I use that's all the time get used. I get the if I've got a bigger project and I want to cover a larger surface, I'll use Simon's one because it's a much bigger cutter head. But no, otherwise I'm using that Henry Taylor's one every day of the week. It is just so much better.
I use the Easy Wood tool. I haven't really used. I have got one of Simon's reasonably big scrapers, but since I bought that Pro Finisher, which is huge, and with the negative rate carbide for resin, that's all I use on everything. To be honest, I use that a lot. Yeah, it's really good.
It's smaller that though, isn't it? It's. Do you not find that it can dig in at times?
No.
Have you not got that? I've had that with the Easy Wood Tool negative rake. I've had a few little dig-ins.
Oh really? Yeah.
When you run your finger back over, you think, oh, there's a little bit of a groove in that you've just got to iron back out again, which I don't get with the Henry Taylors or the Hope one. The biggest thing I think with the Hope one is it's so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's solid. It's very well built, but it's...
I know people use it, and I've used it a few times without a handle on it. It's so bloody chunky and heavy. You don't really need a handle on it.
Plus, I've only got two of these handles, and one's got the spindle gouge, the other one's got the bowl gouge. So if I'm using the bowl gouge anyway, I'm just lazy. I think just swapping that over all the time. Your birthday's coming up. I might just buy another handle just to have the scraper in its own handle.
They're not bad value actually. These handles, to be fair, are they?
No, they're not. I get the ones which have got the twist lock rather than the bolt-in ones.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, that's why I've got two of them. Yeah.
When I bought when he came to Chelmer Valley, I bought the negative rake scraper and a bowl gouge with a handle, and it came with all of the 4 sizes of attachments in the whole lot.
What, the head as in the red, blue, gold.
The red, blue, gold, and So when I got the spindle gouge over Christmas, I just needed a shorter handle and the gouge. I already had the blue bit that goes in it, so that saves a little bit of money. But his tools are very, very, very good.
Yeah.
I just think
you find everyone says, don't they, that they've got too many tools, right? They don't use all their tools. They have their go-tos and whatever. But once you find a go-to one, it's hard for you to sort of like, move away from it because you gain confidence in it. It does the job for you, and then you think, well, why am I going to change? And if you've got, and that could be like a bowl gouge from, I don't know, Axminster, and a negative rake from Easy Tools, and a spindle gouge from bloody, Simon, for example. But if you've got a set that works for you, then it does the job.
Yeah.
So.
You guys use a ring tool?
No.
So I've got one. So David Zelpel, he gave me one last time I visited. He said, like, I can't get on with this. He said, if you want to have a go of it, and he gave me this ring tool. Well, it's the most frightening thing I've ever seen. It's just brutal.
I was chatting with an American chap who makes them a little while ago, and I said, look, I just cannot use this blasted thing. I just can't do it. He said, what's the problem? I said, I just can't get a shaving. I don't understand where I'm going wrong. I mean, I can get my bowl gouge in there, no problem at all. Put this thing in, doesn't do anything. And he tried to talk me through it, and to his credit, he was trying. I just couldn't get my head around it. And it sits just above the lathe. It's little holder collecting a lot of dust. And I'm sure if any of our listeners can help us out with this, because there's got to be a knack to it. I just can't do it. Can't work it out.
Are they supposedly the future? Yeah.
No, they're
supposed to be the future.
No, they're the past, but they work very, very well. If you watch videos of them.
Yeah, they look really good when somebody else is using them.
I have seen them actually. Yeah.
I don't know whether can you use them with? Can you only? Has it got to be end grain? And maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Can you use it on side grain?
I think they're an end grain tool.
Yeah, and maybe that's why because it's just the most frightening thing. Look, it's just
I can't remember his name, but he came
you need some serious risks
last year.
It says
and
into
he
end grain.
uses one.
It says will provide the perfect finish when hollowing into end grain. Flat or curved shapes can be accommodated easily.
I've got some end grain bowl blanks. Well, they're not bowl blanks, but end grain logs sitting out in the wood store. I'll give it a go.
Dust it off, give them a go, and see if you end still having a 10 fingers at the end.
I'll stand out at the firing range. I'll stand at the end. Make sure that I'm not in the way if it does decide to go wrong. Sean. What is his name? I cannot remember. I think it was Sean that came to us last year. He did that piece of apple and pear hollow form.
I don't think I was there for that one, actually.
Him,
I don't think I was there for that one.
Yeah, I remember.
He uses those ring tools.
Yeah. And was that on that was must have been end grain, surely.
But he was using the big hollowing tools for that. But he didn't use the ring tool for that. But it was one he came to the previous year. He used the ring tool then, and I spoke to him about it, but I didn't ask any proper questions because I didn't have one and I had no intention of using it.
Yeah.
I cannot remember.
So I've got. I don't know if I don't know if I'm allowed to change the subject or anything. But
no, you're not. Don't do it.
Okay, I'll do it anyway. So today, I finally got round to creating a YouTube channel.
Have you not had one?
No. And it was like just another one of those things. It's like something else starting from bloody scratch and all that. And so I've literally done it like just at the end of my working day, while I was busy.
Is it published?
Yeah, it's there, but it's shit because I haven't.
What you called?
The huge Danbury Wood Workshop, but I've got to sort out the banner and all that sort of stuff from a sizing point of view. So I think it is there if you search for it. I haven't put any videos on it or anything, so I literally sort of done it before I had some grub.
Danbury Woodturning.
I'll tell you what. As soon as you put your first video on there, let us know, and then I'll watch the video and I'll sub to it because then that will immediately push it up the algorithm for you.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Because
the Witchcraft was his YouTube.
I presume I'd be okay just to go and whack my other things just to get a bit of content on there.
Yeah, definitely.
My other stuff that I've done on, Insta and all that stuff. Yeah, just put all them on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other sort of like obvious things I should be looking out for? I mean, but it's early days, so obviously I can change everything and all that. But all I was thinking, is there anything I could do to screw myself over this early, or not really?
No, not really.
Right, okay.
So I think the best thing you could do is not expect too much once you post your first few.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I just want to get to the point where I've got one, so that when I'm doing it on the others, I can put it on there as well.
Yeah.
So, and then I can sort of start to sort of give it a bit more thought in relation to, all the other stuff about the shorts and whatever else it is.
Yeah, so I'm not doing shorts on mine because I don't like it, and I know a lot of the people that I follow, or certainly the big guys anyway, they'll have a shorts channel and they'll have a main channel.
Yeah.
Some will have even more, But
is that the short? Is a short of a long one, and they're just linked together, or they?
Yeah, so you can do that with a short. So you can put your long form video on there and then create a short of that video. In fact, if you go on TubeBuddy, it'll actually tell you, it'll give you some insights on like the most watched bits, 20 seconds of a particular video, and will automatically create the short for you. But
right,
my shorts that go up on my YouTube are the same thing that goes up on my Instagram.
Right.
I've already created it for Instagram, and it's basically the same format. So I just put it on YouTube as well. It's just you've got the video already edited, So why not just use it in multiple places?
That's what I mean. That's what I thought. Yeah.
But Instagram doesn't particularly like long form videos.
No, it doesn't.
So the videos that we're doing full length, like the edited, not full length turning, although I have got some full length turning videos on mine. The edited videos that you see on everyone's YouTubes, they can't go on Instagram.
No,
and it's a different community as well. They're completely different people.
It's 1 minute 30 is the limit on Instagram, Nick. Because I've got caught. It stops you doing it. If you stops you posting, saying it was 1 minute 31, so it's 1 minute 30.
I've actually given up with Instagram because it doesn't pay you.
Well,
It does. I got 6 cents from Instagram.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. It cost me £2 to get that 6 cents.
Oh, really?
Because I was trying.
You'll go far, man.
Yeah, because it's monetized for gifts. So if people send gifts, and no one uses the gift function, I don't think, on Instagram.
No.
But you get something like 2 cents for every gift that you receive, or something like that.
So I've put proper videos on Facebook now, and I'm now monetized on Facebook. And
Facebook allows you to put full length.
Yeah.
Do you put your same video that you put on YouTube on Facebook?
Yeah, so I have to edit it because it needs like reformatting in 9:16, and then I generally speed it up a little bit, at least 2 times, sometimes 4 times, depending on how long it is. But my Facebook now is now 13,000 followers. It's grown like 4,000 in the last month or so. It's gone nuts.
I have 202 Facebook followers.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the monetization between the pair of them, YouTube and Facebook? Is it similar?
I don't know because I haven't had a part. I've only just been monetized, and I got it wrong, and I screwed it up, and I thought it was 10,000 followers. So I was like, I was actively posting, like pushing posts out, only to realise to monetize you only need 5,000. But what you do need is 60,000 watch minutes and 5,000 followers, and that was and I thought at the time that was quite difficult. But when I looked, I had 490,000 minutes in the last month. Yeah.
Just in a month.
Yeah, just in a month. Yeah. It's gone nuts.
So you speed them up slightly, but it is essentially the same video.
It's the same video, just repurposed. I generally try and get them down to around 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I found is better. And just like YouTube, most people won't watch it to the end, but
yeah. And do you actively or purposely not put, when you put it on Facebook, you don't put a link to the YouTube one, and when you're on YouTube, you don't put a link to the Facebook one? You just treat them as if they're completely separate.
I don't have any reference to Facebook from YouTube. Or any reference from YouTube to Facebook because they don't like each other. They're competing with each other,
Yeah.
And the communities that are on them are completely different people.
Exactly.
Instagram to Facebook to Twitter to TikTok, they're all completely different types of people that are on there. You're hitting completely different audiences. Because it'd be lovely. I mean, I've got 1,500 people on my Instagram. It'd be great if they all decided to start following me on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they don't. And there's very few people that are the same on both Instagram and YouTube.
Yep.
They're completely different audiences. So treating them as separate entities. I've just not really posted to Facebook.
Yeah.
So I might try that over to them as well. I've got the video ready to go. It's all on Splice, ready and edited. So it's just changed the format. And on Splice, that's easy to do.
Yeah. Give it a go.
I'm halfway through editing a video at the moment. Actually, I'm hoping to get that out at the end of next week. All being well. Got to get this kitchen finished first. But all being well, I'm going to have a video out on the end of next week. which is that giant plate I made. And she loved that. I can actually now promote that. I've got all the pictures and everything, but it was for my aunt's birthday, so I couldn't. And she follows me on Instagram, so I couldn't broadcast it. But she's got it now, so I can. So hopefully to get that out next week, and I think I'll edit that and throw it on Facebook and see what it does. I
wondered, like, this might be an edit it out bit, but whether one of the things we talk about on each thing is about a little social media update about if any of us have sort of done anything since the last one. Do you know what I mean? And how it's gone and shit like that. Maybe, I don't know. What do you reckon?
I can certainly give you plenty of insight. So I'm scheduled. I'm posting at least every other day, and I'm scheduled for the next 10 days. That I do know.
Really?
What, on Facebook?
Yeah.
Blimey. I don't think I have you on Facebook.
How do you have that much content lined up?
So I've got. So I'm cross posting a lot. That's for certain.
Right.
Not quite sure how many actual videos I've got on there.
Are they all super duper like your VARs and all that, or do you do like smaller bits as well?
No, there's some smaller bits. So there's basically everything that's on YouTube is on Facebook.
Right.
So I guess I've got about, I don't know, a dozen or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, it's about 13 or 14.
Okay, and you can schedule them. They're all lined up, ready to go.
So I can schedule them. And one of the lovely things with Facebook is that you can cross post. So I just rotate them if you like. And that seems to be working quite well because, like I said, in the last month, I've taken on about 4,000 followers. So I can post the old stuff because 4,000 people hasn't seen it, you know.
Yeah.
And it kind of just
people aren't going back through it. So you just repost it, something. So you go back through your videos and just press repost.
Pretty much.
And bring it back on the top.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, because there are some older things. I mean, 4 days ago you put don't know when you would have first done that bowl, which is the one with the red resin ring on it.
Yeah.
And then the next one after it, 6 days ago, was your pecan.
Yeah.
Nuts. Yeah.
That's a good idea. So you are getting dosh out of Facebook now.
I am now monetised on Facebook. And allegedly, well, according to David, Facebook pays much better than YouTube. And I did have my first payday from YouTube, and that was pretty decent. Not
Really?
gonna lie. Yeah. So I had.
So that's on advertisement, isn't it? Is it both on advertisement? So the advertisement revenue that come in?
Yeah, so they're both on ads. On Facebook, it's ads in video. And I think you get the ads before and after as well.
Yeah.
You do on YouTube.
This random one I've just on Will's Facebook. It's had 237 reactions, 32 comments, 11 shares, and 40.2 thousand views.
Bloody hell.
Since the 7th of February. So
it's pretty. So I've got that Banksia one on there.
Banksia one, 67 comments, 36 shares, 460,000 views.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I just
927 likes, but no one loved it. You had no hearts on that one.
No,
just
mate, that is
up.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. 41,000. Oh, they didn't like your pecan nuts one.
No, don't like everything.
No. All the rest doing well.
That volcano one I did, people hate that. That took me all Christmas. That did. As proper. Yeah, it hasn't done well at all. That.
Where is it? There it is. Oh,
573 views or something.
Oh. Take it down. It ain't worth it.
No. The amount of blood, tears, and sweat I put in that, it's staying. I'm going to cross post it until it does well.
You cross post quite regularly because that resin ring bowl was posted on the 2nd of February as well.
Yeah.
So that's within 2 weeks.
Yeah, within 2 weeks. Yeah.
And you can schedule the cross posting.
Yep. Schedule cross posting.
Okay.
That's good stuff, though. Yeah, just
Because of course I don't have enough to do already.
The other thing you can do with the cross post, you can cross post it for a particular amount of time and then dissolve it, so it kind of just disappears.
What? So if people are looking at all your posts, it's not there.
Yeah. So I guess they do that so that you only have one video that you show in your video section, and you just constantly cross post that, and then you like dissolve it so it still remains one.
Yeah.
And do you do that within the Facebook app itself, or do you do that from
Meta Business Suite?
Meta Business, right? Okay.
Yeah, definitely need Meta Business Suite, otherwise you wouldn't be horrendous.
And you do that online rather than on an app?
I do that online, yeah.
Because I find the online for both YouTube Studio and Meta, the online is better,
yeah,
and easier to use than their app.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I would agree on both.
It's more informative. There's a lot more here online than there is in the apps.
Yeah.
The problem I have with the app, I do the Instagram shopping, so all my products get crossed.
Mm.
When I upload them onto the website, they're automatically uploading onto Instagram.
Mm.
And then when I upload the product as a reel or something, I can set that as a shopping option.
Yeah.
And then they can go to my website.
Yeah.
On the Meta app, I haven't figured out how to schedule and promote. Do one or the other.
Yeah.
On the Instagram itself app, I can schedule these shopping posts with that line. I did a Daphne of bowls and things a couple of weeks back. I did a large amount of them. And I did the usual where I film it, just hand rotated on the lathe afterwards. I've got all of them sitting on my phone waiting to be edited. I just haven't got round to them yet. And I'll schedule them every other day or something. So I might put them out on the shorter ones on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't go over. It doesn't. I don't know what it is. It used to go automatically share, but it doesn't automatically share anymore.
Yeah.
Whether that's the shopping side of it getting in the way, I don't
know
know.
they've done some weird stuff with shopping, haven't they, recently? So I can't. So my website used to be connected with Facebook, not Instagram, but Facebook. But they've killed that now for some reason.
Instagram still works, but I cannot. I mean, I've got two Instagram accounts. I've got the business and I've got my personal one.
Yeah.
And if I go to Tree Carcass from my personal one, I cannot find a shop now button.
Yeah.
So I don't. The only thing I can think of is that potential customers see the reel and there's the shop now button underneath the reel.
Mm.
I don't know. It's all witchcraft, all this social media. I think it's my age.
It is a little bit. You have to be lucky as well. And YouTube's been really quiet for the last, I don't know, couple of 6 weeks or so. Everything's slowed right down, or it feels that way. Although it says that I'm looking at it now, it says I've taken on nearly 3,000 subs on YouTube in the last 28. It doesn't feel like that.
How many have left?
How many? What?
How many have left?
So I'm just a little over 7,000.
7,000 left.
No, I don't know. You can't really see that. You don't really get very accurate metrics. Well, you can. I don't know. Yeah.
Audience. Yeah, I've not lost any in the last 28 days. Oh, what did I just press? I pressed something. But I've only gained 7.
Yeah, so
7. Wowzers.
7 followers in the last 28 days. So that last video I put out.
When you say followers, sorry, when you say followers, you mean subscribers?
Subscribers, sorry, yeah, wrong social media. that last video I put out of the
Oh
sphere
yeah,
jig, it's plateaued. It's still my best video ranking by views of all my videos.
It's flattened off.
But it is, yeah. But average view duration is 2 minutes 55, and it's what, a 20-odd minute video.
How many views has it had?
854, which according to this is 334 more than usual.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll chat later.
Catch up wherever. Yeah,
And
send it over whenever you're ready, Will.
Have a good no worries. Have a good week, gentlemen.
You too.
Cheers, chaps. Ta-ra.
See you later. Bye.